Hello everyone, Jabman025 here. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of doing a review of a kit, this is more along the lines of a how-to guide. Recently I got my hands on one of the original 1.0 Master Grade Gelgoog kits. This is the mass-produced version. And because of that, the fact that it's a 1.0, and because I really hate the green and gray color scheme on this kit, I decided I am going to do a custom color scheme on this kit. But not any custom color scheme. I'm going to do my Gelgoog. If I were a Xeon Ace, what would my colors be? What would my nickname be? Everything. I even did custom decals for this kit, and I'm going to talk you through it and how I did it. As a fair warning, I am not an expert on doing customized colors. I have not done a lot of them. There are a lot of other people on YouTube like Prime92 and GN Squacker who have done a lot more than me, so realize that. First off, whatever you're going to do, make sure you make a quick little drawing on paper. I know my sketch here is one step above third grade art class, but this is basically just an idea. Get your idea onto paper and get it out of your head. Just because it looks good in your head does not necessarily mean it's going to look good in real life. And this gives you a basic idea of whether you're going to like it or not. If you're going to do custom decals, you can get these water slide decal sheet at just about any hobby shop. I paid $10 for them. Make sure that whatever decals you're going to do, you print off a test copy first to make sure that you have the sizing right. I had to do 2 or 3 test copies to make sure I got everything set before I actually printed it off on this. When you print it, make sure you use the other specialty paper. That's what I found works the best. You also need this sealant spray. That's another $10. For $20 this is a little expensive, but you're going to use this on more than one kit if you're going to buy it. Now, when it says use the sealant spray, and the same with printing, once you spray it, give it a good healthy spray and let it set overnight. Just like when you did the printing, let that sit overnight before you actually try and use it. Now, when you're going to do your painting, make sure that you separate all your pieces into colors. I'm doing 3 colors, orange, silver, and black. So I have 3 separate piles for the pieces that I'm going to paint. That way you get everything done at once and you don't waste paint. Also, make sure you use a primer. You can see all these, or at least most of these, are solid black. I used a black primer. This makes the paint easier to stick on. It makes it easier to work with. Just makes the whole process a lot less frustrating. The paints I used, or at least 2 of them, are Tamiya paints, and this is the first time I've used them, and they are really, really good paints. They're a little more expensive than the rest, but these really work well on plastic kits. It just sticks a lot better. You don't have to do double coats. Makes your life a lot easier. Now, I made one pretty huge mistake when I did this. My original orange, when I first used it, it had an error in it. That is to say, it was a bad can. Whenever you spray paint something, especially if it's a new can, make sure you test it on something garbage first, usually a piece of the tree. I didn't. In my original orange color scheme, when I spray painted it, it came out as sludge. And because of that, I had to stop and pretty much redo my orange color. I had to sand it all off, made my life friggin' miserable. But that was my mistake and I paid for it. Don't repeat it. Always test the spray paints on some garbage piece first. The color for orange I ended up using was a Hugger Orange from Model Masters. Didn't work as well as the Tamiya, but got the job done. And here you see the finished product. You can see I used some really giant decals on this. I made myself a member of the Delaz fleet. The 025 from Jabman025. You can see the JAB there on the pilot section. And like I said, I use some really big decals on this thing just because you don't see very many big decals. Here's the nickname I gave myself, the Phoenix of Xeon. There's another Xeon logo on the back. There you go, flip that around, and there's another giant JAB. And for those of you who are wondering, JAB are my initials in my real name. Now flip that around. Now this is really fun to do just because when you've created a Gundam kit, you always have a little sense of ownership. And when you do a custom kit like this, it gets even better. You can see I kept the Phoenix theme going by a giant Phoenix logo on the shield. And the other part is the rifle here. I just did a straight black here, nothing fancy. Put a little red in the scope, and that's pretty much it. But I thought it turned out pretty nice. Now there you can see a little better picture of the decals. You don't get many huge decals when doing Gundam kits, so that's kind of the reason I wanted to use monster decals. Just make it huge and outlandish. It's a bit overkill, but I liked it. But like I said, make sure you measure out your decals beforehand. Print off a test copy, cut it up, make sure you got everything in the place you want it before you start going too far. And there you see the final product with the shield on. It's a 1.0 kit, so you're not going to get a whole lot of poses out of it, but it's really fun to do this and make your own kit. It really gives you a sense of ownership, even more so than you usually get. Well, there you have it, all said and done. Leave a comment, tell me what you think, and thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. If I'm a member of the Delage fleet, that means I participated in Operation Stardust. It also means I'm dead. Damn.